It's the first thing I ever really put out, and it was super aggressive, just really like grungy kind of sound. And then RL Grime picked it up somehow, don't know how. And all of a sudden, Lauren in an email goes, "Hey Matt," I'm like, "Oh," and I'm just like sitting there just losing my mind. I'm like, what is going on? Because I just started PEEKABOO, like everything just started happening so fast, and I was like, oh my god. And he's like, "Hey man, I love your stuff. Let's send me some more tunes." He's like, "Do you mind if I play this in a promo mix?" And I said, 100%, go ahead. And basically he added me on Facebook, goes, "Hey man, just keep sending me new tunes." And what he was kind of doing was like watching how I grew, and just, you know, he's like, I saw potential, and he's like, so then I made this song called Aliens, which is on my first EP, Imposters, and I made that last year, I think, in the winter, and sent it to him, and he goes, "Yep, that's it, let's talk."
Hi, this is Lauren and Golf Sidewalk Talk. Today I'm here with PEEKABOO.
What's going on? Hello.
So you were born in Michigan, or?
Yeah, I was born in Detroit. Well, Dearborn, but I grew up in like the Metro Detroit area, so like 30 minutes outside of it. So I'm not from Detroit.
What is the specific place called?
Like Bloomfield Hills, Birmingham area. It's like a nice like middle class like area, nothing too rough or anything. But like I grew up out of there, and a lot of people who go to Metro Detroit frequently or work there kind of live there because it's just a nice medium cost kind of area.
Are your parents originally from Michigan as well, or?
Yeah, my mom and dad, or my mom's from Philadelphia, but she moved to Detroit to go to U of M, which is the University of Michigan, and my dad went there too. That's where they met, and they basically met at school. My dad was going for engineering. My mom was actually going for a Bachelor of Music.
Oh.
In clarinet performance. So she was kick ass at clarinet. Like she would shred on that. Like I'm surprised she didn't continue it. She showed me some videos and stuff for playing back in college. And they met, and my dad's a trumpet player. He's actually a professional trumpet player in the Detroit Symphony. So he was he was a very big influence on music. So I would be at home just playing video games, and he would be, you know, just playing his trumpet. He just put out an album last year, or 2 years ago.
Really? Is it on Spotify?
I think it is.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's on Apple Music.
Find it.
It's on that or Amazon.
Wait,
I can't remember.
How do people find it?
Just look up When It Rains by Bill Lucas. Yeah, sorry. You're welcome, Dad, for the plug. Yeah, it's really good. Actually, I have the CD in my car. It's always in my car. I listen to it like actually a lot, quite frequently.
Oh, wow.
It never leaves my car because it's all the songs that he's been writing for like since I was a kid. I think one of the songs called First Love he wrote, I think it took him like 6 or 7 years to write or something like that. So like as I was a kid, I know that whole melody by by heart. So it's fun to listen back at it, and he was just a huge influence for me for music because I did trumpet. I played for like 9 years.
Like in band orchestras?
Yeah, I played my favorite thing with trumpet was I did marching band, I did jazz band, symphonic band. My favorite thing was playing in musical pits. So like, you know, the orchestra that just sits below. That's what I love to do. I did that for high school. So I did, the last thing I did was Shrek. It was hilarious. It was super fun though. It was my senior year, it was my first year to like play lead trumpet. I was first trumpet. I just did my thing as my senior year, my send off, but it was really fun. It was because it was like the actual Broadway music. So you would literally get this music. It'd be exactly what they played Broadway, but then, you know, you make all these cuts and what would work with the show. And it was super challenging. Like, it was so hard. Like, there was some of the craziest rhythms in there. That's what made it fun. And it wasn't like some, you know, cheesy, like, hot cross buns or, you know, some, like, C major scale that your band teacher's, all right, let's tune up. It's like, I hated that. So that was, like, the really fun stuff that I did with trumpet.
So what are your parents' careers?
So my dad's still in the DSO, but he also, so funny enough, so when he was in Michigan, he dropped out, became a DSO player. He auditioned all these symphonies, and it was super, what the hell is this?
I know what it is.
He was super, like, basically it was so hard because, you know, it's so competitive in orchestras because there's so many people who play instruments and want to do it, just like the music industry. But he finally landed at the DSO, so he's been doing that for about, I think, 30 years.
Wow.
Man, that's a long time. But then my mom, she's owned a yoga studio called Karma Yoga in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, where he grew up. Still owns it. She co-owns it. She lives in Fresno now. And she's been doing that. She's owned that studio for 13 years. She's been teaching yoga around Fresno area, just doing like Kundalini yoga, which is like a spiritual, I'm not really sure what it is. My mom loves it, so it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad also, by the way, teaches at U of M where he went to school. He actually is an adjunct jazz trumpet professor.
Oh wow.
And I believe he still teaches this course about how to like not be nervous on stage. And it's like keeping a cold head and hot stomach, or it's the other way around. Don't know, I have to ask him about that. It's been a while since he's given me that speech, but yeah, so he loves teaching though. He's been doing it for so long, and I think he's gonna like stick with it more, and because he loves like having summers off, because he loves to canoe, ride bikes, and do all this camp and do all the nature stuff. So yeah. Outside
of music, what were you? How would you describe yourself?
Nerdy, definitely. I played music a lot, but my passion was like video games. I just played them all the time. Like, that's kind of how I like made friends, was through that, just through like online gaming. My friends, I would come home, we just game with each other till like 3 a.m. and then go to bed, do our homework in the morning, and then go to school. Priorities. But yeah, I mean, I loved music. I just didn't really make it at that point. Like when I didn't start making music till probably like my sophomore year of high school. I'm 23 now, and I did it for a little bit, and I kind of quit, and I came back at it. It was so hard, when you first trying to make electronic music, it's really difficult. But I played guitar for 8 years, so I did a lot of that. I tried to incorporate a lot of that, and it was more of me just kind of discovering what my favorite genre of music was, and it ended up being electronic when I first heard. It was definitely the Lights, the Bassnectar remix of Lights.
Oh, okay.
That song kind of really changed a lot, and then I heard Skrillex Kill Everybody, like everyone else did,
At what age was this?
Man, I think I was 14.
Okay.
Like 13 or 14. I didn't even drive yet, yeah. But I listened to that stuff endlessly because I was a band kid, and so I was so used to kids that would, be in bands, there'd be multiple people working together, all agreeing on the same choice of this guitar sound like that, the bass should sound like this. And then I found Skrillex, and I was like, dude, these guys are amazing. And my friend's like, oh no, it's only one dude. And I'm like, I was like blown away because I was like, I didn't even know it was a thing. And I was like, that's only one guy? I'm like, holy shit. I was like, that hooked immediately. I was like, that's impressive. And so through that, I found like Zed and Porter Robinson, all the goats. And
you were making progressive house.
I was. I definitely was. I think the first thing I ever released, which not a lot of people know this, the first thing I ever put out on the internet was a progressive house remix to Make It Bundum by Skrillex. Straight up. And it had like 60,000 plays on on YouTube. Don't know why. Never should have had that many.
Under the same moniker as now or different?
I literally just went under Matthew Lucas for the longest time. It's gone now. I deleted it. Don't worry. Yeah, but that was the first thing I ever did, and I was making progressive house because it was like fun. I loved the melodic structure of it, and like everyone did, because Big Room was so big then. Yeah. Everyone wanted to make it. And then once I started finding out like Skrillex the dubstep, that's where I really started to hone in on it, because it was kind of like metal, and I was kind of a metalhead. I loved like Lamb of God, Amon Amarth, like big guys, and just thrash metal shit like that.
What age did you make PEEKABOO?
Oh, honestly, that was about 3 years ago, I think.
Oh, okay.
I believe, yeah. I've only been doing PEEKABOO for not that long. I was actually about to quit music. And I didn't, mostly because I didn't know what alias I wanted to be under. I didn't really have like a persona or anything like that, and my music was like, it was getting to places, but it wasn't like doing what I wanted to. I was at it for like 3 or 4 years at this point, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I was going to school to learn audio engineering, and I was like, do I want to be a record engineer, which would be fun, or do I want to do my own thing? And my buddy Sully, he just started his brand. He's another electronic musician. He's my best friend. I live with him. Pressured me to move out here with him, because I moved out here 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago. And the reason because of that is he gave me the name PEEKABOO at that point, and I was like, the first thing he said. He's like, you should
randomly,
do this.
What was the
literally
conversation
randomly.
You were talking about?
Like literally, when we were talking, he was like, "Dude, you shouldn't quit music, man. You've got to, you're doing your thing. I think you have a lot of potential." And he said, what about PEEKABOO? Like, that's the first thing that came out of his head.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I instantly thought of the logo, and it was supposed to be a side project, actually, where I just made like chill beats and like super left field stuff. And then I made this song called Aftermath, which was like it's the first thing I ever really put out, and it was super aggressive, just really like grungy kind of sound. And then Arlo Grime picked it up somehow, don't know how. And that was in 2000. I think 2013, or no, sorry, 2015 for New Year's, where he played it. And then at that point I was like, oh, that was the first time any big DJs played something of mine. And I was like, okay, well, if that can happen, I'm like, then maybe I can keep going and keep doing this thing. And then I decided, I was like, I'm dropping out of school and I'm moving here, which I did a year and a half ago. And
also in college you were in a frat, right? They were supporting your music.
Yes, I was in Landakai Alpha, and they're like my best friends still to this day. It was always funny because like I never saw myself as like a frat guy. I just still don't think I am. There's a whole stigma on that, but the guys that I joined with were not like the ones you see, on the internet that are, wearing the boat shorts and the boat shoes. Like I never, no, did not do that. I still kept to myself and did what I wanted to do. And that was cool about my fraternity, is that they were all about electronic music too. Like a lot of them, like they are like, yeah, I love your stuff, and they supported it. And that's what kind of drew me to that, because I was like, these guys are super dope. I want to make some friends at college. I want to like, really play some house parties, DJ, because I DJ'd college bars and all these house parties and stuff, and I wanted more. And that's where I really learned how to, like I said earlier, I really learned how to DJ and really learn like my own sound. A lot of my friends today that I talk to from back home, I still talk to them to this day, and they're all my buddies from college. And they go to like every festival of mine, almost every show. They're always with me usually, and they really help me. They support me endlessly, and they really help me develop my sound and like discover new music in a whole like realm, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So like kind of like that wook music, or like the underground freeform bass stuff. I never really got into it as much until they kind of showed me it. And that's where everything changed.
And then was that the time that you were working at Fedex?
Oh man, you did your research. That job sucked.
Yeah, you hated it.
Worst job I've ever had.
What is with DJs and working for delivery service?
I don't know.
Rehab worked at like DHL.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I'm just like, I don't know. Well, the reason I worked there is because it was in the summer, and I was like, wow, I need a job. And she's like, go work at FedEx. They have great benefits, and they do all this stuff. I'm like, sick. And I was a package handler, which literally means you load the FedEx truck. And they would, oh my God, I've never seen a more mismanaged place in my life. Like, at one point, the reason I quit was the best day of my life. It was the 4th of July. I was 3 hours north from my job. And they called me the day before 4th of July and go, hey, we need you to come in. And I said, I'm 3 hours north. And they go, well, come down or else you're fired. So I was a man, and I drove down, went to work. They told me I was gonna leave at 8 a.m. and I said, perfect, I'll leave, I'll go back up north, go with my family and spend 4th of July. It's 11 a.m. and they say we're not even close to halfway done. Kid quits next to me. He literally just takes his glove and just, nope, I'm done. And so I'm like, shit, and like this kid kept stopping the belt. And when you stop the belt, all the packages like get piled up, so it was a mess. I couldn't even walk to the truck next to me. I had to go around. And the my manager comes over and he's like, hey, why? He's like, where'd he go? I said, he quit. He's like, why did he quit? I'm like, do you have to ask that? Like, do you not see what's happening? And he was like, okay, well, I need you to load his truck. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. As far as I'm concerned, this is the one truck that I have to, load. And basically, I told him, said some things, threw my stuff on the ground, and I said, I'm out. I quit. Yeah. And I wrote some music after that. And that was it. Yeah, that job sucked. Don't work at FedEx. I hope they see that.
At what point of your music career was this?
So, this is actually interesting. When I quit that job, or at least a week before I quit my job, that's when Bassnectar picked up my song Wobbly.
Yeah.
I came home from a shitty day at work, and I was sitting down on my phone, and I'm just like in such a shit mood. I'm just like, this day, I'm like miserable. It's the summer. It's 80 million degrees outside. I'm sweating, and I see this email and it says Music X Bassnectar. And I was like, oh, it's probably just some promo email for his Reflective coming out, whatever. He had an album coming out. And it said, hey, this is Bassnectar's manager, Brandon. Shout out Brandon, he's the man. And he was like, Lauren likes your stuff, let's talk. And I was like, hold on. And I was like making sure it wasn't some fake email. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I replied, and I was like, hey man, like, cool, like, I'm just confused with what's going on. And he goes, yeah, Lauren found your track Wobbly, and he loves it and wants to know if he can put it in the mix. And he's like, let me CC in him. And I was like, what? And all of a sudden, Lauren in the email goes, hey Matt. I'm like, oh. And I'm just like sitting there just losing my mind. I'm like, what is going on? Because I just started PEEKABOO. Like, everything just started happening so fast. And I was like, oh my God. And he's like, hey man, I love your stuff. Let's send me some more tunes. He's like, do you mind if I play this in a promo mix? And I said, 100%, go ahead. And I was actually, it was at Electric Forest. All my friends were there. I was not, because I was with family. And all my friends were at Bassnectar set weekend 1, night 1. Because he was headlining both weekends, I think, that year. And he played Wobbly in front of all my friends, like all hometown friends. And they're all messaging me like, I'm dead asleep. I wake up at like 8 a.m. and I just see all these videos and messages. And they're like, dude, like Bassnectar played your song. I'm just like, what? I'm just like, no idea what's going on. And then shortly after that, he messaged me and he goes, hey, do you want to work on a song together? I said, yep. And I sent the email and I opened up Ableton and I started to set up the system. I made the melody in like 10 minutes, and then from there on we just made it. As I moved over here, I drove across from Michigan and just worked on the road together with him over the internet, and that was it. Kind of just kick-started everything, and that's when I was like, okay, I can do this. And that was the realization.
Were you working a job when you came here?
Yeah, I actually I worked at Guitar Center in Sherman Oaks. But mostly because I started to get shows and I just took on management, and I needed a job that would give me time off for shows, because ultimately that's all I cared about. Didn't really care about the job. I only took the job so I can pay rent, you know? So as time went on, it was a great job. They gave me time off for gigs because it's kind of in their policy. And then things happened. She's like, hey, like, you can't be taking off all these shows. I started getting a lot more shows, and I said, she's like, it's not going to work out. And I said, well, don't care. I'm doing them anyways. And she goes, okay, well, do you want to finish your, I think we're going to have to, you know, basically firing me. Yeah. And she's like, do you want to finish your shift? I said, I'm just going to go. I just stood up and I just left. I was like, no, it was the best day ever. I'm like, and I tweeted, like, I quit my day job. I forgot what I said exactly, but I just said I quit my day job, and it had like 3,000 likes. And I was like, what? It's like,
wow, was this last, wait, so when was this?
That was, man, when was that? I think that was back in May of last year. Oh, like May or June or something like that. Year. That's crazy. Yeah, no. I only worked there for a little bit, for like maybe like 6 months. My roommate still works there, and I go there actually a lot to buy shit, and a lot of my friends still work there. They're really good people. But yeah, it was just after that, that's when I started living off of music solely, and I was super blessed. I was like, this is my dream. I'm like, what's going on? It's like, it's crazy.
How did you meet Disciple?
Well, my manager, the reason I go to Disciple all the time is my manager is the label manager of Disciple. So I'm just good friends with all of them. I'm not like signed with them or anything, but I hang out with them because they're really good dudes.
So how did you meet our manager?
Yeah, so I've actually been friends. So I have 2 managers. His name's Sam and Dan. And I'd actually been friends with Sam for 2 years on Facebook before any of this. Because he like saw Aftermath, that first song I put out. And basically he added me on Facebook, goes, hey man, just keep sending me new tunes. And what he was kind of doing was like watching how I grew. And just, you know, he's like, I saw potential. And he's like, so then I made this song called Aliens, which is on my first EP, Imposters, and I made that last year, I think, in the winter, and sent it to him, and he goes, yep, that's it, let's talk. And I had dinner with him and Dan, and instantly we just kind of clicked very well. They're like one of my best friends out there. I just hang out with them a lot, and they're just super nice dudes, and they reflect my interests well, and they've been really kick-ass. It's so easy working with them. Like, I thought it was going to be kind of stressful. I'm not stressed at all. Like, no, it's just such an easy way to work. And that's really how I met them. And then basically I just, you know, hung around with Dan a lot, met some Disciple guys, and they're like really good friends of mine. And yeah, my manager's been kicking ass ever since.
Yeah, I love that.
It's great.
Then how did you meet Deadbeats?
So it's really a really boring story. Everyone always thinks it's like something elaborate, but no, I actually just started talking to them. I just put out my EP with them. Yeah. Zed's Dead just caught on to my music and basically just reached out and like, hey man, like we love your tune, send some stuff. Sent him stuff, and Harrison, who's the label manager, he's an amazing dude, super on everything, just always available to talk, and they just were like, hey, let's do an EP. I said, dope, I love Deadbeats, let's do it. And so it just was super natural. And yeah, and then I played that Brownie's Lemonade show. Zed was there. They played, they're like the secret guest as well as I was. I was a Deadbeats show, and we just talked and just met finally, and just super stoked. We're gonna probably work on some tunes together and shit, and yeah, cool. super boring, but that's what it was, you know.
What was your inspiration behind Wrecking Ball?
So that track is one of my favorites ever made because when I actually made that idea. I was playing Overwatch on PC, and I was just having a really good day. I was playing this character who just came out called Wrecking Ball, and I literally just. After that, I was like, I'm feeling good. I'm gonna write some music. That's actually what I do a lot. Is I'll play some games, get really happy about something, or it just makes me feel good, and I go and write. And that I just kind of just had the idea, like I had the vocal from one of the sample packs I found on Splice. Just I'm gonna tear the fucking place down, and I was like, perfect, Wrecking Ball. Just kind of worked like that. That's how I name tracks. And I sat on that first sound. It's like the first drop sound. It's just the womp 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 womp. I sat on that sound for like 4 days. Just like something, I could not figure out what's supposed to come after it, and then I figured it out and just kind of finished it in the day. And then that was it. And then I just moved on to the next song. That's how I write. I write really fast, so I can really sit and make a song an entire day that's playable. And then basically when the time comes to release, I'll be sitting in my studio just adding small things, and then just that's it, and then finishing it off.
Actually, that's pretty surprising. Like, how did you... It clicks to you so quickly that you know how some like producers just ponder on the same song and never know it's a finished product.
Yeah.
But you're like the complete opposite.
Yeah, I used to be like that, where I would sit on a song forever and like never release it and be super picky, which is fine to do in practice. Like if that's how you work, then I'm all for it. But I feel like the thing about music is like you can sit on a song for like 2 years and just keep working on and adding stuff, but there has to be a time when you have to just release it, you know, and get it out of there. Or else you're going to be working on the same project, you're going to be sad because you're like, oh, I just can't finish a song. And I know a lot of people like that, just can't finish something, you know? But if you just like, you know, just relax, like just take a breath, just work on it, and just, you know, don't think too much about it. Like people overthink way too much, I feel like, in production. For me, it's just like, I start an idea and I just kind of have this instinct. Like if I know it's going to end up being something that I really enjoy, I'll finish it in a day. And then sometimes if it doesn't really go well, just close it out and just take a break and maybe come back the next day or two. And I used to get so overwhelmed about that too, like writer's block. I used to get so upset about it, and I still kind of do, but I always talk about it. I'm like, God, I just can't write anything, like this is stupid. And then I just write something after I say that. Like that's how it happens every time. So I was like, oh, so the writer's block is kind of silly. They don't really need to worry about it that much. And right now I'm sitting on like 20 unreleased, so I'm I'm fine. I can just... But I always like to keep writing because it's fun. Not that I feel like I have to. Yeah. You know?
Is it kind of surprising to you that everything came so quickly?
None of us saw it coming. Like, it was crazy. I'm still not obviously where I'm at, you know? Like, I'm not like a headline act or anything, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm just really proud and just, it's been a long work. It's been like 6 years, like, you know, saying of just doing this, and it all came really together in a year after my first EP with WAKAAN, and I just like, the fans were overwhelmed, and I'm just sitting here like, I don't know what's happening. I just made, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I still feel like that. Like I go to these shows and these kids are like, they're so dope. Like, they're just like, oh my God, I've been so excited to meet you. Your music's been super, super awesome for me. And then just like, to me, I'm like, that's crazy. Like I never thought that, like you never really understand the impact of your music to people until you like start meeting people. Because right now I just feel like I'm just putting out music and people are listening to it and that's it. But there's a whole other side to it. Kids are having a bad day, they turn on the EP, or you know, they're having a great day, they turn on the EP. It's like the stuff like that you never really realize until you meet someone and they tell you that. So it's been pretty fast. We all can't believe it, but we're just working hard and just making sure we don't overdo ourselves and stuff like that. It's just pretty easy.
How would you say your style of music has changed compared to the early PEEKABOO songs?
That's a great question. Holy crap. That's one of the best questions I've ever been asked. Man, it's crazy because like when I made like my first EP, it was all like, you know, had a theme to it, which I love doing themes. I think it's like a 4-track EP with like a theme is a very good and fun way for the audience to connect and for me to like just create a story. It's kind of like being an author, you know what I mean? But I mean, I don't think it's really changed a drastic amount. I think I've like really been working on my mixing levels and stuff like that. But the simplicity, like, my whole thing about production is I really like simplicity. I don't like a billion sounds at once or stuff like that. I like to be following like one certain sound or a theme or motif or something like that. So I guess it hasn't really changed much, but what I've been doing recently is just kind of I bought like an analog synth, just a Moog. It's called a Grandmother, and it's just like, you get the raw sounds out of it, and like I just wanted to change it up. And it's always about just trying something new, buying a new piece of hardware or software, and just messing around with it. And I've been doing a lot of Moog analog stuff lately, so in my future releases you'll hear a lot of like analog crisp sounds
cool.
and stuff like that, and more of like a hip-hop oriented.
Oh.
So I've been really getting back into rap a lot, like JID.
Do you think you'll have rappers?
I want to.
Yeah.
I really want to start working with a lot of rappers, and
That'd be
also
really cool.
Yeah, because I like do you know who JID is at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that album DiCaprio 2, whatever, so good, and that really inspired me. Like the drum work, just like the simplicity of all the beats, kind of translates into my drum work and my music and stuff like that. And I definitely want to work with a lot of rappers because I just love the rap scene. I think it's really fun. I think there's a lot of people that are doing it really, really well, like JID. Like he's just my favorite right now. He's incredible. So he's definitely inspiring me to write, like, even though he didn't make the beat, you know, his producers are, but like the phrasing of each drum from the kick to snare, like I've been really like incorporating that in my own stuff. So you'll definitely hear like a lot of fast hip hop oriented like drum work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How would you say you've grown as a person compared to when you were younger?
Oh man. Definitely more outgoing. I used to be kind of like introverted. Like I said, I used to play video games all day and just not do anything. Basically when I joined that fraternity, I kind of like became way more outgoing. Especially today, like trying to get myself out of the house. I still have struggled with it sometimes because I love being by myself a lot. I think it's just calming. Yeah, it's just calming. You don't have to deal with some BS. You know, like you don't have to deal with some guy yelling at you on the street.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think the music industry has definitely changed me too, because there's a lot of negatives about it, but there's a lot of positives. And when you focus on those positives, it makes everything a lot better. I think I'm still the same person as I was, 2 years ago. I'm still talking to the same people, hang out with the same friends, and just still doing my own thing. I don't really worry about a lot of other people. Like I know a lot of people today will just worry so much about other people's lives or what they're doing rather than what they're doing, and then that's when stuff goes spiral out of control. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, my mom could probably tell me better than I have how I've changed, but I don't think I've changed too much. But definitely as a kid, I had bad anxiety, and now it's gone. Yeah. So yeah.
What would you say have been your biggest challenges so far in your life?
My biggest what?
Challenges.
Man, I mean, moving here was a big challenge. I'll tell you that, because I've been in college, so I've been by myself, living by myself, paying my bills by myself. But like, changing complete locations across the United States was pretty terrifying, because like, I was worried. Well, what if I don't, money? Yeah. What if I don't make it? So that was really the big part, because I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I don't want to do school. Like, I want to just, I want to do music. And I told her, I was like, I know that's a hard thing to hear as a parent, but my parents were like, no, do it. Like, they were completely supportive. My grandma was a little old-fashioned, like, I don't get it. And I said, trust me, you'll get it. Now she's like, she lives in this nursing home. She's like 89 years old, has all these friends, adorable. She's like, my son's doing this and this, and she's like, she has this iPad. She has this iPad. Your shows. I send her all my videos. She's like showing her friends at the nursing home. It's amazing. Oh my god. It's awesome. Oh my god, nursing home reacts. Yeah, seriously. She's like just showing them all these videos. My mom's just cracking up. But yeah, but that was probably the biggest challenge, was just like completely deciding, okay, I don't want to do school anymore, because school was fun. I didn't do bad in school. I just didn't really, I don't know. I was like, I just want to make music. I just want to do my own thing and not have to work for anyone else or anything. And my mom, and I think what really made my success, or not to say success, but I guess what really made this a lot easier was having my parents' support 100%, because I know so many musicians that I talk to this day that are like, yeah, man, like, they're like, man, my mom's not gonna, you know, she doesn't want me to do music, she wants me to be a doctor. I'm just like, dude, do what you want to do, man. I'm like, I know so many people that are just like, parents that are like that are just, no, you should do this, you should go be an accountant, you should, you know, do this stuff, and they're not really thinking about their own child's needs. So I'm really blessed my parents were really supportive of that, because if I didn't have that, man, I'd be so down the dumps and I wouldn't know what to do. Like, if I had no money, like, my mom's helped me out financially a lot too when I was first starting up, and without that, I'd probably be on the streets, you know? So I'm really thankful for that, as I know a lot of producers that are just struggling with that right now. So, 100%. Sorry, 100%.
With that, what does love mean to you?
Sorry, what?
Love mean to you?
Well, I've had a couple heartbreaks. So, I think love's a beautiful thing. I never really got into it I mean I did. Obviously, I had a girlfriend for like a year or whatever. It ended fine, I guess. I mean, it's whatever, but I mean, ever since that, honestly, like, I haven't really been in a relationship since then. It's been like 6 years. I don't know, I think it's not really something that's like super on my mind all the time. I'm not like dependent on it like a lot of people are. I mean, not that I'm like selfish or anything, but like, I don't know, it's just if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, you know? I think it's like, I think too many people out there try to like find their true love instead of letting it happen by themselves, you know? Because it's not something you can really force. It's like if you end up with somebody, then that's them, you know? And if they work, then that's just like destiny right there. I really believe in that stuff, honestly. Like, just like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. That's like the best motto in life, I feel like. So, yeah.
Last question, what do you want to be remembered for?
My memes. No. No. I don't know. I mean, I'm not like, I don't have any crazy aspirations, but I guess like what I really want people to remember me for is just like my personality, like, you know, I want to be friends with everybody. So like when I'm at shows, I talk to everybody after the show. it's fun because you come to see me, I'm gonna come see you. That's my mentality. So I'm always hanging around after shows, talking to people. I kind of want to have like a friendly, like, friendship basis where I'm not like seen as this guy on top of a stage and the people are afraid to come up. I want people to be like comfortable to say hi and stuff like that. And mostly I want my music to make people feel good. So like I know, like, when I was first starting electronic music, like those songs, even back to this day, when I listen back to them, I get so nostalgic about it, and I want that feeling to be passed over to other people who are listening to my music. And I've seen it already with people who are like, you know, working out or just at home hula hooping or whatever, like stuff like that. That's what it's all for, really. So, and just have fun. I don't know. I'm just having fun. Like I just, people take life way too seriously. Just have fun, man. You know what I mean? I love this. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, thank you. Honestly, this actually was really good talk, because I just opened up my mind about so many things I've never been open about. So it was cool. Actually, I think it's like my first interview. I think it is, because I tried to do research and I couldn't. There's not a lot. Too much. I've got like some written things, but like that's always just through email. So this is like my first official interview. So I'm glad it was yours, because I've been watching your channel for a long time. It's been dope watching it. So
thank you, it means a lot.
Of course.
Bye.